Fisher Liberty Gold. Fisher Liberty Gold is a conservative-owned and operated precious metals investment company. They even helped my good friend President Trump get elected through their contributions to Turning Point USA and other conservative groups. I have dedicated my life to ensuring that people get the best sleep ever, and in addition to owning a MyPillow, I can now sleep well at night knowing that you can all protect your savings with precious metals with Fisher Liberty Gold. With Fisher Liberty Gold, you can sleep well knowing that your retirement is secure. And if you call now, you're going to receive your very own presidential gold guide and qualify for up to $20,000 in free silver. But wait, there's more. Call now or text metals to 26786 to receive your presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty. And for a limited time, I will send you a free MyPillow for qualified accounts. This presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty will tell you exactly why you need to own gold even while Donald Trump is president. And just by calling in, you get a free MyPillow for a limited time for qualified accounts and up to $20,000 in free silver. So don't wait. Call 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today. That's 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today to receive your free MyPillow and up to $20,000 in free silver.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
Hello and welcome to the Lindell Report, everybody. I'm live here at the White House. Okay, hold on. I guess I got to get here. I haven't done this. I'm live from the White House. Can you get rid of the picture in the picture? Hold on 1 second here. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. We're going to start that from the top. All right, here we are, live from the White House. It's been quite a couple of days here for myself. I've been reading about the big news, and some of the most important news that I've gotten in a long, long time. This is huge for our country. If y'all haven't heard about it, we won the appeal for the $5 million corrupt challenge, and it's all over the news. I've had calls from New York Times, the Daily Mail, the two stations in the United Kingdom, and every single CNN, ABC, NBC, all of them have called, just like the old days. And the one thing they asked me, everybody, they said, well, Mike, do you have a statement? And I said, yeah, it's a great day for America. I said, this is going to open the gateway now to help get rid of these electronic voting machines, melt them down, turn them into prison bars. The only thing I did say to them, I said, with all the stuff coming out of D.C. here, all the information coming out about this Russian thing and Obama and all this, I don't know if we're going to have enough machines to recycle into prison bars. We're probably going to have to subsidize them with our good steel we make here, because there's just too many criminals involved in this. This stuff, we broke through the biggest crime of the biggest cover-up of the biggest crime in human history. There's no bigger crime. So, but I'm going to take you back in time so everybody knows what this is all about, or what happened back then. And this is going to tie in Tina Peters too. I'm going to tell you about Tina Peters. So this goes back in the spring of 2021, you guys, when I was raising my hand, all of the election deviations and stuff from the 2020 election, all the crime. So the first evidence I got, everybody, was on January 9th, and it's not a secret. I got it from a guy named Dennis Montgomery, and it was cyber evidence, data that was collected by this device called Hammer, and then this other device that was called, another name for this other part of the device was called Scorecard. Hammer goes in and sucks out gets the data, and Scorecard flips it and does whatever you want to it, okay? Well, back on January 9th of 2021, there were after 2 months of looking through my own deviations of checking with all the counties and the states in the country that and getting all their voter rolls and data rolls and I couldn't understand why all these people that you had people that hadn't voted in that county. They didn't live in the county, but yet they had voted somehow, or they were dead. They were deceased. And these, and I'm going, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense that, let's say Minnesota, hey, there's 4,000 people, come on, you guys, let's go run into Wisconsin and vote for Biden. People are genuinely good people. It didn't make sense. So on January 9th, I get this call, and they tell me about this guy that worked with the CIA for years, worked with intelligence, and he developed a thing called Hammer Scorecard to steal elections in other countries. Okay, to steal elections in other countries, but they had turned it on the U.S. By the way, and I had heard names like Brennan and Clapper back then from this Dennis, and Dennis, amazing guy. Well, anyway, he showed me a few things at that time what the device could do, and believe me, I've seen it myself now. Seen the data, seen it for my own eyes, but back then. And it did, and still to this day, it had a government protective order on it. It was sealed. So, in other words, for Dennis to talk about it, he had to, or to put it out there, any of the data that would, the deep data it would have to be released it would have to have a release because it was under a government gag order. As you all know, I tried to get that to our great president back then on January 15th of 2021. And to no avail. The lawyers ended up shooing me out of the White House, and then that started the biggest cancellation and attack on myself and my pillow in history, and it's just never let up. Well, so I went and I put out a challenge to get people to come to the Cyber Symposium. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get... Nobody would listen. All they would do is attack. Fox News, Newsmax, and Salem Media would not talk about the 2020 election. They were afraid of what? Lawfare. Remember, we've talked a lot about lawfare. Over 100 people and platforms were sued by Dominion, Smartmatic, or their affiliates to shut everybody up. Over almost 200 people were sent threatening letters saying, you better hold on to all your stuff because if you keep talking, we're bringing you to court. These were citizens across Michigan, Minnesota, and other places. It was disgusting what they did. But that was lawfare. And people sued for billions. I think my first one was Dominion. Sued me for $1.3 billion and my pillow for $1 point some billion and all this stuff. Well, anyway, so I said, well, how am I going to get this word out? I had a big rally in Wisconsin, and I developed my own platform called Frank Speech, called Lindell TV, and that was developed because the media, the only way I could get the word out was by being attacked. So this was the birth of actually Lindell TV back then, and but then I said in the summer, in January or in June or July, it was you know what? I'm going to have a cyber symposium. And I'm going to invite cyber people, cyber guys, qualified. They had to have credentials. I looked into it and said, well, what kind of credentials do you need to be a cyber expert to be able to look for this kind of data and look at it? Anyway, so we invited that. Then we invited the media and politicians. You had 3 groups invited to the cyber symposium: media, politicians, and cyber people. So we all get together in South Dakota, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in August of 21. And we have the most bizarre event I think I've ever been to in my life. It was a spiritual battle of epic proportions. It was like, swirling, the evil, the stuff. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I got attacked there. I ended up That was with the Sioux Falls Police, 3 guys. But the media said, Mike didn't get attacked. Really? Why would I say I got attacked? I said, I'd tell you I was an ex-crack addict. I think I would tell you if I got attacked or not. My wife and I by the elevator at the hotel with 3 of them, and that was where there were no cameras. But anyway, and we had the guy's picture, and they still didn't. I don't even know if they even looked for the guy afterwards. But anyway, the cyber symposium, then we started putting out the $5 million challenge for that was put out to get people there, to get the eyes on it. And I advertised it everywhere, the $5 million challenge. And what it said was, and when they got there, if you're qualified, you had to be there in person. If you were a qualified cyber expert, and you signed this contract, and it was they had to prove the data wasn't from the 2020 election. Now remember, everybody, no one said that the data was going to show the whole election flipped. It had already taken 6 months and hundreds of thousands of dollars of going through the data, and it's just massive. There was, I don't know, 30-some terabytes of data. Terabytes big, I guess. I think it was 37 terabytes of data. And so this was still an ongoing process. But so that was the challenge. And then I wanted these cyber guys to dig into it all. I don't care if it took them months or whatever. So we head down to Florida, and I go to get the data from Dennis Montgomery, and we get a part of it. We get a hard drive, and we bring that to Texas, everybody. I brought that to Texas, and it was going into the cyber. We brought it to Allied, these cyber guys down there, and they have a program that actually goes back to Obama. When our government deemed our elections critical infrastructure, you could put it in this Cyber Act of 2015. You put your data in there, and even though there's a government gag order on it, now everybody can look at it. It was to save our country. Hey, we don't care what's on it. You put it in this act, and you're okay. So we get down there, we're going to put it in the bag. It's downloading, and we bring our copy to South Dakota. So anyway, South Dakota now, remember the challenge was all over the TV. You had to prove the data wasn't from the 2020 election. So the cyber symposium comes and goes. We couldn't put down on the 3rd day because there was a red team there. This Colonel Phil Waldron, he said we can't drop the China proof because they're going to put a poison pill in it, and everyone's just going to be sweep arrest because then you would have something you're not supposed to have or something. I go, okay. And I was just attacked the night before, so I said, okay, then we'll hold back the China stuff. Which, by the way, that's all coming to fruition, isn't it? You hear all about it. John Ratcliffe on January 7th of 2021, the head of the DNI for our country, said, hey, there's problems with China in the election, but nobody bothered. That didn't make the news because of January 6th. It got washed away. So anyway, cyber symposium comes and goes. It planted seeds in all 50 states. Well, about a month or two later, this guy named Zeidman, I hear from one of our guys that helped put this on, was one of our lawyers that actually drew up the challenge, and he said this guy's challenging it, and he's got to show proof that it didn't come from there, and it was just rubbish what he had, of course, and so he got denied by the panel. He got denied. So then in there it says you can bring it to binding arbitration. So he brings it to binding arbitration. I don't know, maybe it was a year later, whatever it was, and so it goes before that, and I'm thinking, I went there and appeared one day. I'm going, well, of course it's from the 2020 election. I'm going, why do we even have to waste money and time on this? And they go, and it was a panel of 3, I think they're judges or whatever, that get called in this pool, and you pay all this money, whatever it is. And anyway, don't hear from them, everybody. I don't hear from this Zeidman thing for like 6 months. And all of a sudden, in 1 week, this all happened in the same week, everybody. You talk about trying to suppress the country, our voices. And maybe you can look up, Allison, find out when Fox News settled with Dominion, what year that was. And we're going to get the date on this, everybody. But it was a week, I believe it was the the spring of 2022. She's getting the date right here. Because you guys want April, it's 2023. So April of 2023. So now I want to think about this, you guys. That's even more bizarre. So I had the Cyber Symposium in August of 21. You go through 21 and you go through 22. Actually, I think it might have even been in 22. Yeah, it was in 22 when he finally brought this up for arbitration out of the blue. Now, why would he do that, everybody? Why would he do that? Okay, well, let me tell you why. You know what I did in 21 and half of 22? If anybody knows anything about airplanes, that's back when I still had my plane before they basically everything's gone with welfare, but to help save the country. Well, for 14, almost 15 months, I put on 780 hours on that airplane, burned out 4 pilots, and all I did every day was fly to states to meet Secretary of States, Attorney Generals, politicians, buying voter rolls from around the country, the data files, running teams across every state by then. That's all I did every single day for a year, a little over 14 months. And I was slammed in the media every day for it. Attacked. Every time we put something out, we'd say this, Alabama had 4,662 people on their voter rolls that voted that were over 110 years old. Mike, we live pretty good in Alabama. This is their Secretary of State telling me, a Republican. Most of the blockers were Republicans. So this is what I believe. The deep state globalist CCP uniparty, the evil that's out there, and I think it's going to come out who's at the top. I mean, we're hearing a lot about some other stuff right now, but and we know that all these platforms that I was deplatformed on, then they tried to destroy my company, and then they just tried to attack me relentlessly every day as I'm raising my hand, and we're gathering and people all over the country. Then by then we had teams in every state, and they're just working for nothing out there, just tireless working, trying to save our country. Well, what I think then they said, you know what? We've got to do something more. What else can we do? Evil sits in a war room and go, you know what? Let's go after that challenge that he had back in 2021. So they put out. That's when they did this in 2022. They put this. They go to this arbitration. Now I'm not kidding. It's like, is this a pair of glasses? I thought, how can you're going to go in there and you go, all the cyber guys said it was from the 2020 election from around the world, including Harry Hursty, which was he's a Democrat in the movie Kill Chain. All these cyber guys said, and so I'm going, beautiful. Even the Facebook fact checkers from Lead Stories, Martin, said, he goes, yeah, that was the first day of the Cyber Symposium. I said, is this data from this 2020 election? He said, yes, it is. Yes. I go, oh, thank you. It's all, cause I just wanted validation from all the cyber guys, which I got. But all of a sudden, here's this guy. Now he goes up to this 3-panel, and they change the rules of the contest. All of a sudden, I didn't know it at the time what they were doing in that thing, but I went there for one day to testify. And there I go. I got this from Dennis Montgomery, and this is the data that we put out, and it's from the 2020 election, all this stuff. Well, interestingly enough, everybody, by the way, the lawyer, this Brian guy, I forget his last name, for Zeidman. Okay, this is pretty interesting. He worked. Dennis's program that he has is called Blitzware. So I had bought that, so I had all the data. It's called Blitzware. Where did it get its name? From this couple. Their last name was Blitzware. Okay? And they had bought this up from Dennis Montgomery, this data collector, this technology that the government was paying Dennis millions of dollars for, because Dennis owned the rights to it, to this technology. That it can be used for not just for stealing elections, but it can be used for a lot of other things, and actually good things. This compression technology, it can be used for so many things that would help this world and help this country, but it can also be used for evil, as you've seen in elections. Anyway, this Blitzware, they ended up getting divorced, this couple, and this guy was the attorney for the estate. He had to put a value on Blitzware. You can't make this up. He knew the data from Dennis Montgomery in that room was good, but yet he's there. I go, what are the odds that this guy was involved back then with this, with Hammer Scorecard, with Blitzbear, with the data, and yet he's representing this Zeidman, who, by the way, we couldn't find his credentials. He would not have fit the credentials to be a cyber expert at the Cyber Symposium. We don't even know how he got in and how he got credentials. If someone gave him credentials and he snuck in that way, because he didn't even know how to open a computer, this program that would go through and check out to make it legitimate the data, or even to either say, hey, it's good or bad. It's called, I forget what it's called, but he didn't even know how to open it. He had to, someone there we had in the cyber room had to question him and ask him that. Anyway, they get done with this. It's like a 3-day arbitration, and there's three of these panels there, three judges. This is in late 22, and I don't think a thing about it, everybody. I'm not even worried. What does it matter? And by the way, this was also protected by an LLC that put the whole symposium on. This wasn't me personally, and on top of that. So I got nothing to worry about there. Even if it did come down with money, it's protected. There's all kinds of protections there that if somebody tried to lie or steal and take it somehow do corruptly, which is what happened, well, then this goes by until, what was the date, Allison? April? Here's a week. It goes by to April 2023. And remember, by this time I was sued not only by Dominion, Coomer, Smartmatic, all these lawsuits involving over $2 billion, I believe it is, piled up like cordwood. Over 100 people had been sued from around the country. Platforms had been sued. Newsmax, your OANs. It don't matter. Salem Media, one of their hosts. So what do? This happened in 1 week in April of 23. On a Tuesday, it's worldwide, #1 story in the world. Fox News settles with Dominion for $787 million. And let me tell you, everybody, do you know how much time or how many times we reached out to Fox to give them evidence that we had and to bring evidence back? Do you know they had Dennis Montgomery on Fox, Sean Hannity talking about him in 2017 with Sarah Sanders and John Solomon? We played this tape. Sean Hannity said, he goes, they said there's enough evidence, and this is just evidence of this collector of the tool, not of the 2020 election. Remember, it's 2017. They said we have enough stuff that would stacked. The data collected would go here to the sun and back. This is what was said. And Sean Hannity said, this is the biggest discovery ever. That was his quote, ever. Well, you know what? After that episode, it was shut down. Someone got to it and shut it down. But we wanted to get to Fox. Hey, we have Dennis Montgomery. We have all this stuff. Hey, Fox, we've got it all for you. But out of the blue on a Tuesday, Fox settles with Dominion for $787 million. I don't know if their insurance company was behind it, China behind it, who owns part of Fox, or I've heard all kinds of rumors. Is BlackRock involved? I mean, all these different things. And then that was on a Tuesday. Now, here, you ready, everybody? Here comes Wednesday. You wake up Wednesday morning, and here's your next #1 story in the world. Mike Lindell loses $5 million because his evidence was proved wrong. You can't make that up, can you? What timing? They held that back, and all of a sudden I'm going, what? No, I'm just trying, everyone's hammering me from around the world going, your evidence, Mike, you're a liar, conspiracy theorist. And, by this time, everybody, I had more evidence I had every voter roll in the United States. I had all the cast vote records. We had so much from different camera angles. I had enough evidence. I think I said it on the air. I said I have enough evidence to convict all 300 and some million people, and we'd all be in prison. And the media goes, Mike Lindell says we're all guilty. No, I just said that's how much evidence we had. If you had to space it out and just give everybody a little piece, that's how much we had. We have more evidence, by the way, everybody. Go to LindellTV.com. Go to Inside the Machines. I posted it all. It's all posted in little packets there of the different camera angles. Casboat Records, Tina Peters inside the machines, her actual image, everybody. It's right there. Go get yourself a cyber guy and have a ball. I'm tired. I was just tired of the media going, he doesn't have any evidence. You can take it all in right there on LindellTV.com. So what happens on Friday? So Tuesday, Dominion settles. With Fox News settles with it, pays out $787 million. I'd like to find out who paid it. Did China pay it? Did the Murdochs pay it? I wonder who paid that. Did the insurance company pay it? Boy, I would have liked to have been a mouse in the corner in that deal, Or were they all in on it? Do you ever think of that? Foxes went Fox on us. I've got shirts. Don't go Fox on me. It's disgusting what goes on over there at Fox. Okay, so now. What happened on Friday? Oh, so Tuesday this, Wednesday this. Friday, they fired Tucker. They didn't really fire him. They benched him. Do you know why they benched him, everybody? For 2 years or 3 years, I've been texting Tucker and talking to Tucker. I couldn't ever go back on Fox after January of 21. Nobody can. And nobody can. That's what Lawfare did. Now, Tucker finally had said, Mike, I'm getting real close. I'm starting to believe that these computers were used. I said, yeah, believe it. Well, anyway, about a month later, here he is down in Arizona. I think it was a Turning Point event. Old Tucker gets up on stage and goes, we got to get rid of these electronic voting machines. I'm going, yes. Well, Fox might have heard that too, because you know what? That Friday, they didn't fire him, everybody. They benched him. He still got paid in his contract. You take your 400 hitter of your ball club and you bench him? I know, I buy ads on Fox. Okay? You benched your number one draw to your network. And then did people question why? I'll tell you why. Because they were so afraid he was going to say the word Dominion or ES&S or Smartmatic or say we should melt down the voting machines and turn them into prison bars. That's what they were afraid of. That's it. Period. So you look at those three. Now, I lose my $5 million, so now they completely just try and discredit all the evidence I have. That now we have the Casboat Records. Do you see what they did there? They just put the hammer on that. Mike Lindell, his evidence bad. He's got to pay $5 million. I said, there is an appeal. But normally you can't even appeal. This is binding arbitration. I told my lawyers, I said, we're appealing this. This is an out-and-out lie. It's like saying, prove these are reading glasses, right? Duh. I see them. Here they are. It's disgusting. So a monkey could see this data and go, it's from the 2020 election. You don't even have to be a real deep cyber guy to see it. That's what I've heard from many of the cyber guys. It's very obvious. It was collected from the 2020 election, from those dates. So anyway, so here I am. The 20, they bash me, and I take it to district court to appeal it. The district court, they take their time, and they rule, yep, they did make a mistake. They did do some wrong things in the binding arbitration, but we are not going to overturn it. That judge, the district court judge, we're not going to overturn it. I'm not going to overturn it. I'm going, okay, you're not going to overturn it. You can see it's glasses, right? You can see it's 2020. What's the matter with you? Well, he didn't overturn it, but he did say there were some problems. So then I said to my attorneys, I said, now what? They said, well, there's nothing we can do. And I said, no. I said, I don't lose. I will fight till the last thing you can do is done. And they said, well, you can take it to federal court and try to overturn it, but it hadn't been done in 40 years. Something just like this. It just doesn't happen, everybody. The odds are insurmountable. I said, you know what? With God, all things are possible. And we put in that appeal. And that appeal went in, I believe, it was written by Doug Wardlow, who, by the way, worked for me for 4 years. He ran for Attorney General in Minnesota twice. They stole it from him twice. It's disgusting. Even it's just disgusting what goes on in all the states. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But Doug wrote this most amazing, and even other lawyers looked at it, the most amazing appeal that you could ever see. And I said, it gave me some hope. I'm going, Okay, it's basically saying, hey, here's the contract, here's this. How can you change this? But we've seen this happen in our country, all over the country. You're going, judges aren't judges anymore. Where you're going, how can they rule this? Do they have a hidden agenda? Are they being threatened? Or are they just corrupt? There's all kinds of things we think. And I had been to that. I believe I had been to the same. I don't know if I'd been to the same Eighth Circuit before when they took my cell phone. The FBI took my cell phone, and I took that all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court wouldn't even look at it. No, we're not going to look at that. You can just go ahead. By the way, everybody, they still have my phone. Okay. I'm sure I could go to my good friends Cash and Dan and say, hey, could you go get my phone? But they got a lot of things they're doing right now. They're a lot more important now. They get my phone. At this point, I just miss my kids' pictures that were on there when my dad passed away that are on that phone that I can't get back until I ever get that phone back. And I will get that phone back at some time. But I took that phone then and brought it to the Eighth Circuit in Minnesota, and they couldn't believe it, but they still said no. And so it was a blessing yesterday when the verdict came down. The timing is just perfect, everybody. We need this right now with what our great president's doing, what my teams on the ground are doing, what we're doing to get rid of these machines and to get us to paper ballots, hand counted, everybody. We need it to them not be able to say, Mike's evidence is no good. Remember, our president's going back in time. Who has most of the evidence in this country? My teams do. We got it all of it. Every single thing in this country we've got. I would be surprised if there's any evidence anywhere that hasn't flowed through us or that's not stored. We have a library at the Cause of America, that you always help fund, that I help fund, and you guys, and that you've got enough evidence and stuff there piled high, so high it's just unreal. So this appeal, the Eighth Circuit came out, and you guys check out the news. One of the things that surprises me here hold on. What time is it?
You can go for a break and come back.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, I'm gonna take about a 2-minute break here. I'm gonna take a 2-minute break, and maybe you'll get a My Pillow commercial, huh? Use that promo code L77. But I'll be right back. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally. To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12 packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now. Hello, everybody. Here we are live from the White House, and welcome back to the Mike Lindell Show. And where were we? Oh, yeah, we just got this great appeal that we won yesterday. Okay, I'm at my office in Minnesota, and remind me to tell you something about Minnesota here too, everybody. All right, you guys tell me. So anyway, here I am sitting in my office. We're actually filming a couple commercials for our new energy drink at My Pillow called Rev 7, everybody. We have the exclusive rights to distribute it. You guys got to try it. Rev 7. Go to mypillow.com. Check it out. It has no sugar, no caffeine. It's got these PHB ketones in it. You get this mental clarity. You don't get the jitters. It's the most amazing energy drink you will ever use, ever. Anyway, so I was filming some commercials there, but yeah, you guys use promo code L77 if you get to My Pillow. If you go there now, by the way, you can get a free 3-pack, absolutely free. But if you buy anything else, you'll get a free 3-pack of the 3 flavors, and it'll sign you up for a subscription. But you cancel it anytime. You are absolutely going to love it. I can't even keep it in my office. I got my employees running over there like crazy, emptying my refrigerator. But it's great. So anyway, here I am sitting in my office, and my attorney calls me up, and it had been so long since we had brought it to the federal 8th district. I think it's been like 10 months. It's been such a long time, and they had already told me, the lawyers said, it's the odds are just very small, and because it hadn't happened in 40 years. And he called me up, and he goes, and he's all excited. I could tell by his voice. I go, what is it? What is it? And he tells me, we won. And I'm going, what? I mean, I almost started crying because it was like, you got to be kidding me. It was just, we needed a win, everybody. We needed a win. I know Colorado, we had the big win for My Pillow. By the way, we're still appealing the other part of that, of course, that went against me. And you guys can all help on that too if you want to go to mypillowtrial.com. Mypillowtrial.com. We can use donation. We can use help over there. We need 400,000 for that appeal by August 15th. It's coming up. Or you can go to Give, Send, Go. You can go to Give. There is the Mike Lindell Legal Defense Fund. But go to mypillowtrial.com and it'll bring you there. But you guys can help there. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So here I am yesterday, everybody, and I go, I got to get on. I got to get on the show. So right away, I got to our network here, Lindell TV, and I went on Emerald Show. But by the time I got off Emerald Show yesterday, I was starting to get calls just like the good old days. I mean, they started rolling in. I told Emerald, I said, I wonder if they're going to suppress this. I didn't know what the media was going to do, because all they do is attack, and they're on to me. They know how that's how I get the word out, and I have for 4 years. And the only other way is Lindell TV here, or maybe which, by the way, you can all be a part of. Get that, or publicly traded on the over-the-counter. Under MLMC, if y'all remember that, MLMC, we're publicly traded. We're the fastest growing news station, I believe, in history. Seriously, we're going to have the biggest voice. There's one thing we have now that we didn't have then, is we're going to have the biggest voice this country's ever seen, and I'm very excited. So here I am yesterday, and I started to get surprised. Political calls me, Huffington Post. These are kind of like the middle ones, everybody. Then you see... all of a sudden I get the New York Times. I get 2 stations from over in the UK, the Daily and the Daily Mail. Daily Mail, I should know that's the biggest outlet in the world. But all these guys are calling, and then they're starting to pop up. I go, I wonder how they're going to report this. Well, yeah, you know what? They even use good pictures of me for a change. They have one where I'm giving God the glory like this. And you guys got to check it out. Google Mike Lindell and hit news. I was surprised. And then I got a call from the Associated Press. And I know a lot of these guys. I'm going, you guys, and but all of them quoted me, said the first thing they said, they go, well, Mike, what do you have to say? And I go, it's a great day for America. And I said, a great day, and I go, great day for our country. And they go, well, what do you mean? I said, because we're one step closer to melting down the machines and turning them into prison bars. We needed to win this appeal so they can't say, look at Mike Lindell data. He lost $5 million because his data's no good. Lies. That's just one small portion of the data I have of the 2020 election. Remember, I got every single state that came right out of the machines. I bought it. Spent millions. This was the Dennis Montgomery stuff, which is there. It's all from the 2020 election. You have different. It's the same crime, just a different camera angle. The truth is the truth, and so I was very surprised. And then I heard a rumor. We don't know yet. It could have been just a rumor now because we haven't found the clip, but I was kind of hoping it wasn't. I heard last night. I was talking to my friend in South Dakota, and he goes, wow, Hannity was said something about it. And I go, are you sure? And he goes, yeah, I think I heard your name. And he, but that would be a surprise. That would actually be very shocking, and we can't confirm it. But, I believe Fox News, once all this is uncovered by myself, our great president, and not uncovered, but he's going to go back and he's already asked all these states for all their data, and he's going to put a special prosecutor. He's not stopping until you get who did this and who's doing this with our elections and such. And I believe, just like right now, all the media reported this great appeal win, except for, so far, Fox and Newsmax. I could be wrong, but I haven't heard anything from Newsmax either. Where is Newsmax? Are they here?
Yeah, Mike Carter is from Newsmax.
Yeah, Newsmax is right over here. I'll bet you they haven't reported it. I'll have to go over and check it out here. I didn't realize they were only a little bit away. So, why wouldn't they report that? It's news. So I could be wrong. I had high hopes that Sean Hannity had maybe mentioned it, but we can't find the clip. We've looked for it. It's not there. It was a false rumor. Gave us some false hope there. But so my point being is, I would bet that we could say the president could probably come out and say, hey, here we have it. Here's who did the 2020 election. I really want, look, it's right here. They're admitting to it. And I still think Fox News and Newsmax would not report that. I'm not kidding. It's like they became weather channels that don't report hurricanes or tornadoes, period. That's what they do. You want to watch the weather? If they were weather channels, it'd be the most dangerous things ever. I got in a conversation with Sean Hannity in the summer of 21. Sean says, Mike, you better stop. He said, turn to my wife. He says, it was just us three. He says, Mike, you got to shut up about this 2020 election. He goes, and he looks at her. He goes, don't you care about him? They'll kill him. And he goes, and I said, Sean, what am I just supposed to not talk about what I know and what I've seen? You know it's true. And he goes, well, Mike, we can't. Well, at Fox News, you can't. And I said to Sean, Sean, you're going to ruin the country. I said, by you not saying nothing, people think that it's all okay. And he goes, would it be better if we're not here at all? And I said, yeah, because people trust you. It would be, and I told him, I said, to be just like a weather channel, not reporting the worst two things, hurricanes or tornadoes. And Newsmax is the same, identical. Oh yeah, they both got sued. Whoop-de-doo. They've already been sued. Fox already gave away the money. Can't you at least report good things like this appeal was won? It's true. There is evidence. The 2020 election was sold. The president's been saying it, and I've been saying it for 4.5 years. You don't have to play like you're hiding in the sand anymore, Fox News and Newsmax. It's disgusting. At least these other stations now, they didn't do hit jobs yesterday on me. They reported They proved themselves. They actually reported something, probably because they had to. There's no negative there that they could grab onto. There's no negative. So I'm going, how are they going to spin this? I really thought they would just not talk about it, but they surprised me once again. CNN's going to be here shortly. They're going. My good friend Donnie's going to do a little interview. I sent him a thing, and I'm going, Donnie, I said, see, it's all true. You know, am I going to get an apology from Anderson Cooper? I don't think so. You know, and I don't want one. I don't want one. They attacked me, so I was able to get the word out. We need apologies from Fox News and Newsmax is who we need apologies from. Those two stations should apologize for not putting out the news about our election, the stolen election of 2020. Because if we don't secure our elections and get rid of these machines, they're going to steal in the midterms. And you know what? All the great things our great president's doing could end up being in vain. This is urgency. This is the biggest critical time in the history of our country right now. It doesn't get any more critical. You know, we were just talking earlier on Allison's show here live from D.C. that it actually gave me a little hope the other way because he's doing so many good things right now. He's doing so many good things that people just like I'm gonna do it. Let me see how much time do I have. Hold on. Okay, we got time. I'm gonna do another analogy here, you guys. See if you all get it. Okay. Right before this 2024 election. About a month before, a couple months before, and I told everyone, I said, if I was their marketer, here's what I'm going to do, okay? I said, if I'm in their war room, let's say I'm in their war room of evil, going, hey, what are we going to do? We got Kamala Harris running against Donald Trump, and if we, with the way things are polling and the way things are, if we steal this from him, it's going to be so obvious. It's going to be so. Can you wait with that? It's going to be so obvious. It's going to be so obvious that they're going to demand these machines be torn apart. And I said to this, I said, just like the China virus, if they were going to give us China virus 2.0 before the election, you think we'd all fell for it and went, okay, I'll wear a mask again. I'm in Minnesota. I'm going to eat out in a snowbank and watch my plate melt into the snow at a restaurant. Okay, give me a break. You know, nobody would have done it. And if they gave us election crime 2.0, we would have all demanded, not just me and thousands of others, everyone in this country would have said, open up those machines once. Let's see inside the computers. Just like if your bank statement was off, you would go right to your bank and say, hey, something wrong. Oh, it was a computer error. Here you go. But you can't do that with these machines, everybody. But we would have demanded if they stole the election. So you know what I would do if I was them? And I would say, you guys, okay, then let's just steal the House. No, if we do that, they're going to be onto us. They're going to get rid of our machines. They're going to get rid of our machines. Then how are we going to steal elections? What are we going to do then? This is the uniparty talking, by the way, people. This isn't just the Democrats. You know, they're just using them as a figurehead right now. That's the problem they had. Okay, so because they thought they were going to win everything, just destroy the country, and it's over. But that didn't happen because a lot of things were in their way. But here's what they did. Here was their plan, 100%. Well, let's steal some from X amount from Donald Trump, which they stole about $7 million, and let's steal congressmen. They stole 9 that we know of. Let's steal some senators. They stole 4. Now, why did they steal enough to take the House? Because if they did, it would have been just like that. They might have got away with that because they'd have said, oh, Donald Trump won. Yeah, it's great. But if they stole the House, I think enough people in this country would have woke up and said, no, let's look in the machines. It doesn't make sense. Because there would have been deviations like crazy, which there were deviations like crazy, everybody, but you didn't see them because all those were counted like all the way into December, and the Democrats took every one of them. Did y'all know that? Everyone's going, yeah, Donald Trump won. And all these other racehorses are coming in that have a big part of our country. They stole every one. They didn't steal the House because people would have said, wait a minute, how did Donald Trump win but these lost? These are the things they're called deviations that happened. It was crazy what happened after the fact. You just didn't watch. You know why? Because nobody reported it. These are the things that at least Fox News and Newsmax maybe could report a current election, but they don't report hurricanes and tornadoes over there. And the far left or the crazy fake news, they're not going to report it. Are you kidding me? They're in on it. They're all in on it. It's disgusting. So this is where we're at. So now, when they steal the midterms, everybody, now everyone goes, oh, well, look how close it was, out there, No, it's not close. This country's 68% red if you don't have machines. And I don't have time today to go into it. We're going to have a whole other show on that when we talk about the cast vote records and how we figured out that this country's 68% red. Now, so this is why it's critical coming up with these primaries and stuff. And this is a little thing I was going to tell you. They keep asking me, Mike, are you going to run for governor in Minnesota? And right before the 2020 election, by the way, the last interview I had before I came here, I was walking down the street, was from my horrible newspaper in Minnesota, the Star and Tribune. I'm sure people would argue that Dallas, they would argue their paper's the worst, but I know this, I've lived it. The Star and Tribune in Minnesota is the worst. I've never seen anything like it. And this gal calls me, she's from D.C. I never talked to her before, so I gave her a little break. I said, I hope you're not as horrible as the rest of your reporters, and we'll see, I haven't read it yet. So, but I did tell her, I said, before the 2020 election, I was very strongly going to run for governor of Minnesota. I didn't, and Waltz went on a big campaign and threw out all these things, these flyers all over Minnesota bashing me, and I hadn't even announced I was running. Do you want this mini Trump running and all this stuff he's putting in there? Well, anyway, after the 2020 election, I said I would not, and once I knew what I knew about the voting machines, I said I wouldn't even run to be a dog catcher until these machines are gone. I said that in December, I believe, of 2020. Well, now they're doing polling right now to see how I would fare in against Waltz in Minnesota. And that's going to be coming back very soon, and I'm going to be making a decision. But part of this decision, and I told this lady at the Star Tribune, I said, what do you think one of my things I'm going to run on? It's what the people in this country want the most. If you polled people right now, it used to be, right up there, secure borders and all that, but they're already secure. What do you think the number one thing is? They want secure elections. All the people do. The people do. The people do. Not the politicians and the corruption. So one of my things I'll run on, hey, you know what? We'll melt down the machines, turn them into prison bars, and go to paper ballots, hand counted. I think Minnesota would like that because they like, these recycling. I mean, that's a great thing, right? You can recycle these machines and bring out all the disgusting things, bring back common sense to Minnesota. I grew up there my whole life, and I was a crack cocaine addict. I spent a lot of times down in Minneapolis, right where I burned up all those buildings and destroyed Minneapolis, and all my friends that had rebuilt their lives when we all quit crack back in the day, and they just destroyed it. Just let the city burn down the precinct, and all these things, and it was just disgusting, absolutely disgusting what this governor's done. It is an effort to destroy our great state. I mean, and everyone's seen him now. He can't even hide himself because he's been in the public eye when he, when he ran for vice president. So everybody knows what a horrible person and what he's done. You got to be horrible what he's done, the evil that he's done to our state. But I'll tell you, I spent a lot of time in the inner city. Teen Challenge is right down there where they burned down the buildings. And when I came out of addiction, Teen Challenge, Salvation Army, helping the inner city addicts and stuff, getting to Jesus, and hiring them off right out of Teen Challenge and Salvation Army. And we had a great thing going. And then Tim Waltz comes in and destroys everything overnight. When I say overnight, it hasn't taken him too long to destroy. It doesn't take too long, everybody. When you put in crazy common sense, things that aren't even common sense, beyond common sense. Everyone in Minnesota is going, now why are we doing that? Now why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? It's disgusting. So we'll see what happens there. I want you guys, if you can all, so there's a lot of great news, but we need your help. I need your help. We've got to finish this. So we have to finish, and we're not done until the machines are gone. We get to paper ballots hand counted. If you can donate, go to givesendgo.com/Mike Lindell or go to mypillowtrial.com and help out. And if you can help out, go to the social media platforms and share Lindell TV, share my post for my personal thing. I don't care if it's X, Facebook, whatever it is. Share. Tell everybody to watch Lindell TV. Go to lindelltv.com. Spread the word. Thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless.
Friends, we all know the truth. Big Pharma and the federal bureaucracy have made a mess of healthcare in this country, and boy, that's an understatement. President Trump signed an executive order to bring prices down, and that's a great step. But we know that real change takes time. There's one pharmacy that is already stepping up. I want to tell you about All Family Pharmacy. They're not waiting. They're taking action now with a summer sale that gives you the power to take control of your health. Right now, through the end of June, you get 20% off site-wide, no insurance required. Did you hear that? 20% off site-wide, no insurance required. They work with licensed doctors in all 50 states, and they ship fast straight to your door. Whether it's ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, methylene blue, antibiotics, emergency kits, or your daily prescriptions, this is a time to stock up. If you believe in medical freedom, if you're tired of waiting for someone else to fix things, do what I do. Take action. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell and use promo code Lindell20, Lindell 20, for 20% off your entire order. That's allfamilypharmacy.com, Lindell. Promo code Lindell20. Let's protect our families, defend our freedom, and make America healthy again together.
If you want to feel and look your best, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They have 45 premium health supplements that are designed to help you with everyday health goals. Whether it's boosting your energy or trimming belly fat, supporting healthy blood sugar, pumping your testosterone up, or even reducing swelling in your legs, Pure Health Research Supplement Store has you covered. Each formula is crafted with natural, non-GMO ingredients, backed by clinical research and manufactured right here in the USA. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is offering you an exclusive 35% discount. Just go to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. With their 365-day money-back guarantee, there's nothing to lose. So head over to purehealthresearch.com now, explore their 45 amazing supplements, and save 35% before this deal ends with promo code Lindell. With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com.